Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Inside Out Smile. I'm your host Dr. Amber Q and I've got a couple of little bottles next to me, which I think this is quite a funny story. I ordered, so the other week, must have been last week, this smells so good. So the other week I basically had a massive spider in the house and I'm embarrassed to say that I did use some choice words and I need to control that. Anyway, I ran to get my spider catcher and I tried to grab it, but it just, it was too fast. It knew. So it ran away and I couldn't catch it. And then I was just very wary for the next couple of days, and I knew that our paths were going to cross again. And I'm so grateful that when I saw it, it was in the hallway. I managed to grab my spider catcher, and this time I was determined. Not to let it go. I think previously it'd been sort of in the kitchen where the washing machine is, and there's a gap there, so it rushed off behind that gap. But this time it was in the hallway, and yep, I was determined, and I got it out of the house and I said goodbye to it. And I thought to myself, I need to take control of the situation, because if I don't take any action, I'm going to have a similar story, and it's spider breeding season apparently. So I went into the local health shop, and I picked up a couple of essential oils. I've picked up peppermint, which is energizing. It's a pure essential oil. And basically, I'm going to open the box now while I'm here, because it's just exciting. It's like an unboxing, isn't it, that you'd get on YouTube, except that we're not actually on YouTube. Tell a lie, we are on YouTube. The podcast is on YouTube, but it's just the audio file. Oh, it smells so good. Oh, it kind of reminds me of old bass oil. It smells so nice. Anyway, let's take this out of the box. It's so nice. Anyway, they didn't have the peppermint oil in stock, so I had to order it online. And I bought another couple because I know that spiders don't like peppermint oil. Apparently they don't like eucalyptus oil either. I didn't want to get a whole load of oils though. And I know they don't like citrus oils. So I was kind of like, ooh, shall I get some citrusy ones as well, because it'll make the house smell great. And yeah, so I basically ordered, it's funny, isn't it? The peppermint is very strong. I don't know if it's actually somehow leaking. It must be leaking because, well, it looks sealed. Anyway, oh, it is slightly loose compared to the other one. Let's open the third one. So we've got peppermint, orange, and lemon. I was torn between the tangerine and, oh, they're all slightly different. The lids are kind of slightly different on all of them. So I don't think the peppermint is leaking, but the orange is very still. Anyway, they smell delightful. They smell so good. And so the plan is so I've ordered some glass spray bottles, and ideal for essential oils. Now normally I love room sprays, and I do have my Neal's Yards room sprays. This is not a sponsored podcast. But anyway, I bought these oils because I thought I could pop them into, pop a couple of drops into a spray bottle with some water and spray around the house. I think that's the general thing. I'll have to check the dilution, but I think that's going to be so much fun. Oh god, the peppermint smells so good. Anyway, isn't that wonderful? Look, I mean, I know this is not AMSR or whatever that's called, but they smell so nice. Let me smell the lemon again, because I think the lemon, they didn't have a tester in the shop. It smells quite nice. Anyway, I thought what I would do is basically just spray them around the house. So I think my bottles are arriving tomorrow, so that should be interesting. Oh, the orange, it just makes you hungry, doesn't it? It just makes you hungry. Yeah, I thought I'd see how I get. I'm quite tempted to get patchouli, which, oh my god, that smells so good in the taster as well. And the eucalyptus was really nice as well. And I must look at my... Oh, it's interesting, yeah. The lemon smells okay. Not as nice as the others, but maybe because... Actually, maybe if I shake the bottle up and down, maybe that will get some of it to the... this is probably not the sort of video that you want to... Oh dear, I think it's now leaking on my hands, and I don't think one is meant to kind of, have pure oils all over one's hands or microphone. So, sorry, is this the kind of podcast episode that I'm meant to be doing? I have no idea. I do have something to say, by the way. What is this happening to this bottle? This is all very intriguing. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh dear, that's I think it's meant to be quite irritant to one's skin. Oh gosh. Anyway, maybe I'll mix it with the orange. Not sure what was happening with that bottle there. Anyway, let me just wash my hands and come back. And here we are again. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what you thought of that earlier segment. And now I seem to have something in my eye. This is what happens when you're just messing around on a podcast episode. So I had an interesting experience the other day. There are a lot of roadworks. I'm sure I've mentioned this previously because these roadworks are ongoing. They're replacing water pipes and they're doing lots of roads. So the traffic is really sort of, problematic these days. And one of these days I went down a side road and I ended up on the road. So I'm trying to think about how to compare this to schools in the USA. So primary school, I don't know if that's kindergarten. I've got no idea, or whether that's junior high. So I guess primary school one attends up until the age of 11, I guess, 10 or 11. And then you go to secondary school. So anyway, I ended up... Actually, two things happened. So first of all, I drove down a side road and I went past my old primary school, which I attended in London. And I went to school thereafter in Saudi. But I went to school in London, to primary school. As I said, I've got no idea. Actually, no, kindergarten would be like kiddie stuff, would be infants. So I guess junior school is primary school for the Americans that are listening. And yeah, it was really weird actually just driving past my old primary school. It was very weird. And I feel as if I have driven past it previously, but it felt slightly odd driving past it. And then another day I was walking and I was walking in that same direction, funnily enough, and I walked past a shop which I feel was a very odd experience, because I think, going back to my primary school, I think I've driven down that road previously, and I've kind of thought to myself, oh yeah, I went to school there. And then I think what happened was I was then walking down the road that leads to the primary school, and there was a little sweet shop there. And I don't know what it is, but I had this really deja vu moment. And it's really interesting because in Liverpool, which is another city in the UK, there is a particular place in town where people end up time traveling. And it's really weird, right? It's really weird. And so when I walked past this sweet shop, and I'm not sure because I feel again that these are all local to me. So I feel as if I have been down that street previously. So maybe the sweet shop had been closed and then maybe it's reopened recently. And I feel that it is the same sweet shop that I visited when I was a child going to school. I really do feel that. And I think it's a bit odd because when I was walking past, I kind of got goosebumps. And the door was open and I kind of poked my head in and I was kind of expecting, and I'm not even sure if I can remember where things were. I do remember where some sweets were. And it was just such a weird experience going past and I was almost scared to go in. And I remember they had a few other things because I can remember, I feel that I bought my sister a little hair comb with a little flower from that shop. Maybe I bought that from somewhere else, but I feel as if I bought it from that shop. Why would I have done that if that was a sweet shop? I'm not sure. But that sweet shop was, it was just, such an exciting place when I was a child. And it really, I don't know, it's even giving me goosebumps just speaking about it now. And then I started thinking to myself, wow, if I knew then what I know now, wouldn't it be amazing? And wouldn't I live my life differently? And then similarly, I kind of had this weird moment where I thought, okay, so years later, I'm walking down this street and I'm seeing the shop that I saw when I was really little. And some may say I'm still little, but anyway, my height, that's another thing. But I then thought to myself, in the next 20 years or so, I'll look back at myself now thinking, wow, if I only knew the things now, the same thing basically, if I only knew now what I would be thinking in 2 decades, and if that makes sense. And it was just such a weird feeling because I was thinking, but I can kind of see things. Well, we can't see things, but it's kind of like with AI and just, I don't know, it's just so, spooky, interesting, scary. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even know what the point is of this. But it's just that it kind of gave me goosebumps going back. I felt as if I was going back to the past. And I think I'm going to have to go into that shop. And maybe I'll ask them how long they've owned it. And yeah, maybe I'll just do that. I don't know. It just felt so weird. It felt so weird going past that. I don't know. Do any of you live in the vicinity of where you went to school when you were a child? Do you go back and have a look? I quite want to go back to the house that we lived in when I was a child, which was on the other side of London. I don't know. I would really like to do that. It's kind of weird, isn't it? I don't know. And, it just makes me think, oh my gosh, in 20 years, I'm going to think back to now. And I'll think, wow, and there's a song by Baz Luhrmann where he says, and it's the sunscreen song, where he basically says something along those lines, you'll never realize how much potential you had, looking back or something. Words of those sort, basically. So, and I guess that's it, right? Because when we're elderly, we'll think back to when we were young and we're always going to kind of look back. I don't know. It's just so weird, isn't it? It's just so weird. But it really makes you appreciate where you are right now and just to enjoy the moment. I guess maybe that's the point of what I'm saying, Enjoy the moment of where you are, because we're so blessed. We're so blessed in so many ways. And yeah, I don't know what the future is going to hold, because politics just seems to be crazy. It just seems to be crazy. It's a crazy world. It's a crazy world. Until the next episode, let's all create connection and just not just change lives, but save lives.